Have you ever found yourself awake at night thinking, I'm a leader and there are a lot of people and very critical outcomes that are depending upon me to know what I'm doing and to lead well during this time? You might have gone on to think, I'm not sure I'm equipped to be the leader that I want to be or believe that I can be, much less the leader that everybody else needs me to be right now. And perhaps you thought, how can I get the knowledge I need? How can I quickly get it so I don't have to learn everything the hard way? There has to be like thousands of people that have been in my situation. Wouldn't it be great if I met one of them and they could come alongside me? Somebody that has truly had success, that has grown an organization or grown a team, grown themselves, elevated leaders around them, and I could learn from them so I didn't have to learn everything the hard way. My name's Kirk Dando, and I felt that exact same way when I started on the journey of the company that we grew, where we eventually went on to have over $1 billion in sales and sold that company. And it sounds like a great story, and it was a great story, but it was a lot harder than it needed to be. And when I started off on that journey, until I found out this one thing that changed everything, I felt that exact same way. And I want to share that one thing with you. You see, from an early age, I've always been someone that's very curious and extremely determined. And maybe you're like this. If you tell me I can't do something, it's the exact thing that I want to go and do. When I was a freshman in college, the only class I did not get an A in was accounting. So guess what? I made it my major. Like, who picks their major that way? It worked out. I went on and earned my CPA and became the chief financial officer, the CFO, and moved on to be the chief operating officer, the COO of that company that we grew to over $1 billion and sold. But it was a funny way to get on that journey. My freshman year, I was told that I couldn't walk onto a Division I football team and earn a full ride scholarship. So I walked on and I earned a full ride scholarship. Not everything I do works out. That's not the point of this at all. The point of this is when something is hard and difficult, it's the very thing that I run into and I want to understand, I want to learn. And I believe that growing as a leader and growing something, growing a business, growing a team, growing a family has been made way more difficult than it needs to be. See, on that journey, when I started off, I had an incredible board of directors. I had people that had all kinds of success, and I had access to all kinds of coaches and consultants, and everyone wanted to give me advice, but implementing that advice was like wrestling with a ghost. It was really, really hard. And I remember just sitting there thinking, like, it can't be this hard. It can't be this hard. Why can't somebody just give me guidance? But all the guidance I got was, either the details of how my people were different or our conditions were different or the market was different. And so this advice, although it was nice and people really wanted to help me, I needed someone that could come alongside and see into the corners that I had not been in, that could see around the corners that I had not been around, that could hear what I was not saying and anticipate what I needed to hear and what I needed to learn. So after we sold that company, rather than going sitting on a board or starting another company, I decided that I wanted to come beside other leaders and help them grow and develop so they didn't have to spend their IQ points solving problems that had been solved thousands of times in other organizations and inside of other leaders. They instead could spend their IQ points innovating and growing themselves, growing their team, growing their business around them, and pursuing their dreams. So over the last 25 years, I've spent over 40,000 hours working with 10,000 different leaders, both from companies that were startups that went on to grow and ring the bell on Wall Street and go public, to other leaders that have grown their companies and sold them, leaders that have had major breakthroughs, as well as leaders that have had major breakdowns. I believe that success leaves footprints, and so does failure. And I have spent and dedicated my life, that dedication, to understanding those things. And I've identified 7 things that if a leader will do consistently inside of either great times or very uncertain times, will elevate their leadership. That one thing that I learned that I want you to know, the one thing I want to come alongside you and hopefully earn your trust and create conditions of safety, that one thing, it's overly obvious and it's embarrassingly simple, but it is not easy. That one thing is you alone can do it. You alone can lead yourself. You can lead your family. You can lead your team. You can lead your organization. You alone can do it, but you can't do it alone. I learned that, and once I understood that, I started to grow. And that imposter complex, that fear in the middle of the night that I woke up saying, how am I going to do this? I've never done this. Every day is a new day that I haven't done this. Once I understood that and started on a different journey, the growth was exponential. And I want to come alongside you. And it's why I've created the 4U Leaders Challenge. I would love for you to join me in this. I'd love to get to know you and have you get to know me. It's a 2-week challenge. And I promise you this. I promise you this. And I promise this to everybody that I have ever worked with. You see, when we were growing our company, I had all kinds of coaches and consultants and people that would come in and make promises to me. And then they would under-deliver. And I would ask them, hey, if you can't deliver on your promises, do I have to pay you? And they would look at me like, that's the worst question ever. They look at me like I was crazy. And I wasn't trying to be difficult to get payment from. What I was really saying and what I was desperate was I was saying, will you advocate for me? Will you see into the spaces I have not been? Will you help save me from myself if I need saving? Will you come alongside me in this journey and not just give me advice, but give me help? Will you take me beyond what information and skills can do and take me to a higher level? See, I believe that each of us has a seed of success in us. And in order to unlock that seed of success, you've got to understand somebody. You've got to earn their trust. You've got to create conditions of safety. And you've got to fertilize that with the right encouragement. And you've got to water it with opportunities. Well, here's my promise to you. If at the end of this 4U Leaders Challenge, you don't feel more hopeful, you do not feel more encouraged about where your leadership is going and where you're taking yourself, and more importantly, how to get there, a plan to get there, and a community of people around you that are normalizing the journey. If you don't feel that and experience that, I promise you I will return your money. It's not a sales tactic. I promise you that it's not a sales tactic. I've made this promise to everybody, and it comes from when I was growing my organization. I could never get anybody to make that commitment to me, but it is my commitment to you. So sign up now. Click below. Sign up for the 4U Leaders Challenge, and I promise we're going to have some fun. We're going to grow together. I'm excited to get to know you. I'm excited for you to get to know me, and I look forward to seeing you in this challenge. Have a blessed day.